I wanted to shout out Nebraska here because Matt Rule has built and he's stacked and he's trying to get this thing back to where Nebraska wants to be. But similar to Maryland, I think that defining the expectations can be a little tough. At FanDuel Sportsbook, the over/under win total is 7.5, over -122, under +100. 7-5, 8-4. I mean, given the investment, given the bluster, given the quarterback, I think 7-5 would be a disappointment.
I agree that it would be a disappointment, but I don't think Matt Rule would be in any trouble.
Okay.
Because that would be a second straight season going to a bowl where you hadn't gone to a bowl for 9 years. I think the recent failures of Scott Frost will buy Matt Rule far more patience. And I know that there was a ton of hype going into last year because of Raiola, and now he's entering his second year. They did get to a bowl, and you're hoping that you could take that step forward. I think if they go over this and they finish 8-4, everybody's very happy. I think if you finish 7-5, you're not super thrilled, but I don't see an outcome here where Matt Rule's in real trouble, though.
I think I agree with you. I do think Matt Rule is still a good football coach. Does Nebraska have bigger expectations than that?
Ultimately, yes.
Yes.
But are they realistic expectations?
Not this year.
There's no Oregon and there's no Ohio State. You get Penn State on the road, which I think is where you want them because you don't want to waste a home win opportunity. You're not going to beat Penn State at home, most likely. I mean,
who's not doing anybody any favors in these conversations? Kirk Cignetti in Indiana. Because when we talk about expectations, we're all like, set the bar low. And then all of a sudden you see a team like that. And if I'm a Nebraska fan, I'm like, wait a second. Indiana just made the playoffs and we can't get 8 wins. I think it's an anomaly. I think it was an outlier. So I get it. But I mean, that's probably where the high expectations come from.
Here's a scenario that I don't think is likely at all, but could look great at first and then play out poorly for Matt Rule. If you look at their schedule, it is not crazy to think this team can start 8-0.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Their first 5 games are at home: Cincinnati, Akron, Houston Christian, Michigan, which at home, Michigan finished 6-6 last year, 7-5, not exactly an unbeatable team. Michigan State. Then you're on the road for Maryland, who we just talked about, not very good. Then you're on the road for Minnesota. That'll be a tough game. But then you get Northwestern at home. It is not insane to think Nebraska, if Dylan Raiola takes a step forward, is 8-0. And then you finish with USC, at UCLA, at Penn State, Iowa. So it could be a rougher finish. But this is a team to me that I think can go any number of directions. I do think that there is a floor of they will get to a bowl game with this schedule at minimum.